and welcome to the Anvil Bar here in Rylane for our monthly screed. And we'll have a great night of song and dance and bit of storytelling and whatever. And I hope every one of you will enjoy it. And I see people here from everywhere tonight, including our great friends from Tipperary. And a special round of applause for our great friends from Tipperary who've made it all the way down here tonight. Oh, we forgot about Dennis. And now we'll start off with some music from our young musicians over here. Rachel Leonard, Martin McCarthy, Aisling O'Connell and Ellen Long. And now we'll have another selection of music here from our young musicians again. We have Rachel, Martin, Aisling and Ellen. Very good, girls, that was lovely altogether. And now I think we'll have a polka set next, if we can get a team together for a polka set. Thank you very much indeed for that great polka set. Now we'll have a song next. And if we could get Marie Hanlon here for a song, please. Marie.
Get the camera and you're behind me.
Oh, yeah. And westwards through Clandrohid parish, one day that I chanced for to stray, I met with a comely young damsel that happened to chance by the way. She was like the bright star of the morning, so brilliant and charming was she. No name shall I claim for my darling, but lovely, sweet Grogel McCree. I approached her the moment I saw her. I always was prone for to do. I asked her the questions I thought of. I now will relate them to you. Fair maid, while you leave your old father and climb o'er those mountains with me, and I will tell you, my darling, my lovely, sweet Grogel McCree. As sure as the summer comes warm, and as sure as the autumn proceeds, as sure as the winter comes after, and the spring when we all sow the seeds, till the sun rises west in the morning and shines o'er the lawn yet so dear. No name shall I claim for my darling, but lovely, sweet Grogel McCree. And through Carrigan next morning I carried my love with great speed. I was not afraid of her father for doing so awful a deed. I took her to sweet Cloudy Land, my bride everlasting to be, and I wrote her in my arms, my lovely, sweet Grogel McCree. Shut up.
Very nice, Marie. That was lovely altogether. And I want to know, could we get a song next from our great friend Bernie Doherty from Tipperary? I went many a good night in Bernie's Bar down in Palace Green in County Limerick, and won as recently as Patrick's night. So, Bernie, see you after so well when we go down there, so. Now, Bernie.
I wouldn't be coming here anymore.
Oh, you would.
Would I? Sorry.
Yeah, you would. You'd be great.
I have 2 marks to spare, so I
You have.
sorry.
In Mount Joy Jail, one Monday morning, high upon the gallows tree, Kevin Barry gave his young life for the cause of liberty. Just a lad of 18 summers, yet no one can deny. As he walked to death that morning, he proudly held his head on high. Just before he faced the hangman in his dreary prison cell, British soldiers tortured Barry just because he would not tell the names of his companions and other things they wished to know. Turn informer or we'll kill you, Kevin Barry answered no. Calmly standing to attention as he bid his last farewell to his broken-hearted mother, whose sad grief no one can tell. For this cause he proudly cherished, this sad parting had to be. Then to death walk softly smiling, that old Ireland might be free. Another martyr for old Ireland, another martyr for the crown, whose brutal laws may kill the Irish, but can keep their spirit down. Lads like Barry are no cowards, from the foe they will not fly. Lads like Barry will free Ireland, for her sake they live and die. Thank you.
Poor Bernie, that was lovely altogether. Very, very nice indeed. And I want to know, could we have a few tunes or a song from Eileen Callan next, please?
Come over the hills to your bonny Irish lad. Come over the hills to your darling. You'll choose a road, love, and I will make a vow that I'll 'Twas down by Killarney's green woods that we strayed, and the moon and the stars, they were shining. The moon shone its rays o'er her locks of golden hair, and she swore she'd be my love forever. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the waters that flows from the vine, and my love is fairer than any. There's not for the parting of my sister Kate. There's not for the grief of my mother. It's all for the love of my bonny Irish lad, that my heart is breaking forever. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the waters that flows from the vine, and my love is fairer than any. My love is fairer than any.
And now, see that we've all lady singers, I think we go to a gentleman this time for a song. And maybe we could Michael Maguire for a song there, please, our great friend from Tipperary.
There's a dear little spot in the Western Ocean. It's an island of beauty, holy and grand, whose name fills its daughters and sons with emotion when spoken in far, foreign land. I love every blade of green grass on the mountain, every leaf on the trees, every rock on the strand. I love you, Cushla, my own native Erin. Yes, I love you forever, my own native land. Though the ocean divides us, in spirit I am with thee. It's the sound of the guns turns the blood in my veins. But a sadness came over that sad transformation. We're still bound in slavery's chains. This island, God bless her, is the birthplace of heroes, the homes of the warrior, patriot and sage, of Bar lords and of chieftains, whose names long will cheer us. They live forever in history's page. I love every blade of green grass on the mountain, every leaf on the trees, every rock on the strand. I love you, Acushla, my own native errand. Yes, I love you forever, my own native land. They cast out our children, they despised our green bowers. They tried to exterminate us so long, long ago. But the Irish they found were like wildflowers growing. The faster you pluck them, the quicker they grow. I love every blade of green grass on the mountain, every leaf on the trees, every rock on the strand. I love you, Acushla, my own native errand. Yes, I love you forever, my own native land.
Very good, Michael. That was very, very well done indeed, in fairness. And now we'll be getting Anthony Ryan for a tune now in a minute, but while he'll be getting ready, we'll get another bit of a dance for Andy Barrett and his people. We'll have Anthony Ryan for a few tunes, please. Another great Tipperary man. When you're ready, Anthony. Good man, Anthony, that was lovely altogether. And now, I think we're going to have a song now next from Dee Buckley. It's okay there, Anthony, it's fine.
About an Irishman I'll tell you, who from all Ireland on time strayed, was not content where he was living, made up his mind to cross the sea. I'll go, said he, and seek my fortune, no more for Badlands rent I'll pay. To Queenstone Harbour he went skipping, and got on board for America. For 8 long days his ship was sailing, from Queenstone Harbour to New York. 8 long days it took going over, till it landed safely in New York. Paddy had no friends to meet him, like many an Irishman before. No one there to wish him welcome, since he left all there on shore. Paddy walked up through the city, each fine building took his eye. Looking over the beer shop window, Jameson's whiskey he did spy. I'll go, said he, and have some treatment before I'll travel any more. I'll have a glass of old Irish whiskey I used to take in Sweet Rathmore. Paddy walked up to the counter, calling drink without delay. Give me a glass of old Irish whiskey. It was in coppers he did pay. The Yankee smiled when he saw the money, and said, you must pay me as much more. Oh no, said Pat, not damn the farthing, for that's what he paid in Sweet Rathmore. Said the Yankee, no, you're not in Ireland. It's a different country, as you see, and the whiskey here is twice dearer. And why don't you pay my right to me? Said Paddy, no, you damned old rascal. Do you want to rob me far from home? I was robbed before by an Irish landlord, and that's what caused me for to roam. The Yankee jumped from inside the counter and got Paddy by the throat. But Pat came up with a sweet black tartan, and he laid the Yankee on the floor. The Yankee now may well remember his broken bones and arm sore, from the swing of the sweet black tartan that Paddy brought from Sweet Rathmore. And hooray for our Irish heroes, to many a country they must stray, and we're proud to say we're Irish, Irish boys in America. That's it.
Good man, Dee. Very, very good indeed. Now there's I know how I put it, something on there between Michael Church and Ted Meany. So whichever one of them is going to come up now for a song. I think the pressure come on Michael Church.
Yes, camera like good man, and we are very happy with the program to find out where they are.
border, the news quickly spread. Another filed ambush, a volunteer dead. How sad were our hearts as we whispered the name. For the great freedom fighter was called McIlwain. Through the fields of Fermanagh and the hills of Tyrone, through Cavan and Leitrim, your exploits were known. Those cowardly crown forces, they cringed at your name. They had cause to remember the bold McIlwain. We salute you, brave Seamus, it's a soldier's farewell. Our grief at your passing, these words cannot tell. Your lifeblood for Ireland did not flow in vain. With Hughes and O'Hanlon outstands McIlwain. Your love for your country you could not restrain. That patriot's fever, it burned in your veins. You answered the call to fight Ireland's cause. And you made England pay for 800 years' war. In those cages of H-Block, you never gave in. Though they stripped you and beat you, they never could win. You inspired the lads of the bold 38. Long Kesh couldn't hold you, you smashed through the gate. We salute you, brave Seamus, it's a soldier's farewell. Our grief at your passing, these words cannot tell. Your lifeblood for Ireland did not flow in vain. With Hughes and O'Hanlon outstands McIlwain. On that dark April morning, at the breaking of day, the SAS waited in a field near Rossley. With Sean Lynch, your brave comrade, you were wounded and killed. When they found who they'd captured, you were tortured and killed. We salute you, brave Seamus, it's a soldier's farewell. Our grief at your passing, these words cannot tell. Your lifeblood for Ireland did not flow in vain. With Hughes and O'Hanlon outstands McIlwain. Round your Monaghan home, all the black flags did wave. In thousands they gathered to honour your grave. Your comrades in arms marched with you all the way. 'Twas a final farewell from the bold IRA. We salute you, brave Seamus, it's a soldier's farewell. Our grief at your passing, these words cannot tell. Your lifeblood for Ireland did not flow in vain. With Hughes and O'Hanlon outstands McIlwain. With Hughes and O'Hanlon outstands McIlwain.
Good man, Mike. That was very, very good indeed. I think now we'll give Ted Meany a bit of a rest for a few minutes till he kind of bring himself together. So I think we'll go to Teresa McCarthy next for the song, please. Come on, Teresa. And after that, we'll have a song from Nora Looney, and we might go back to a bit of music then after that, and we get a few more songs again after that. Now, Teresa.
cameras good as you can, or we would oblige you if we can at all. All right, off you go.
I dreamt all last night, oh, but as to my dreaming, I'd die if I thought it would surely be true. I dreamt while the tears down my pillow were rolling that Teddy was courting another fair lass. And didn't I wake with the weeping and wailing? The pain in my heart was too deep to conceal. My mother cried, Nora dear, what is your ailing? But all I could answer was Teddy O'Neill. I seen the old cabin beyond the wee boreen. I seen the old crossroads where we used to dance. I've wandered the lane where he called me his Thoreen, where my girlish heart felt the thrill of romance. But now all around is so sad and so dreary, all dark and all silent, no piper, no reel. Not even the sun through the casement shines cheery, since I left my darling boy Teddy O'Neill. Shall I ever forget when the big ship was ready and the time it had come for my love to depart? How I cried like a child, oh, goodbye to you, Teddy, with a tear on my cheek and a stone in my heart. He said 'twas to better his faith he went roving, but what would be gold to the joy I would feel if he'd only come back to me tender and loving, yet poor, but my own darling Teddy O'Neill.
Teresa, that was very, very nice indeed. And now we'll have another song from Nora Looney there, please. And we'll have a bit of music after that, an old time waltz. Because there's a few more singers down there. We can get around to Ted Collins, John Borkin. There's a holy host of them there. Ted Meany and all them fellas down there. We'll catch them all yet. Now, Nora.
Far away places, with a strange sounding name. Far away over the seas, those far away places I've been dreaming about are calling, calling me. Going to China, or maybe Siam, and I'm going to seek for myself those far away places I've been dreaming about. In a book which I took from a shelf, I start getting restless whenever I hear the whistle of a train. I long for the day that I go on my way and and picture those castles in Spain. They call me a dreamer, and maybe I am, and I know I am burning to see those faraway places I've been dreaming about are calling, calling me.
Very good, Nola. That was very, very good indeed. And now we'll go back to a bit of music. Now we'll have an old-time waltz, and we get on to Ted Collins down there then, and John Burke, and there's a few more around that corner we want to get out of. And now we're going to have a song next from Ted Collins.
All Teddy Quill and everyone joining it now. Mates of you, hello, who are anxious for sporting. A word of advice I will give unto you. Proceed to banter to the athletic sporting and give in your name to the sports committee. But do not commence any part of your programme till a carriage you'll see coming over the hill. Flying through the valleys and glens of Kilcorny comes our Musgrave sportsman, the Bald Teddy Quill. Everyone, for rambling, for roving, for football or sporting, for drinking black porter as fast as you'll fill. In all your days roving, you'll find them so jovial as our Musgrave sportsman, the Bald Teddy Quill. At the Cork exhibition there was a fair maiden whose fortune exceeded 1 million or more. But a bad constitution had ruined her completely, and the medical treatment had failed o'er and o'er. Oh, Mama, says she, sure I know what will aise me, and heal the disease which is certain to kill. Give over your doctoring and medical treatment. I'd rather one squeeze from the Bald Teddy Quill. For rambling, for roving, for football or sporting, for drinking black porter as fast as you'll fill. In all your days roving, you'll find none so jovial as our Musgrave sportsman, the Bald Teddy Quill. At the great hurling match between Cork and Tipperary, 'twas played in the park by the banks of the Lee. Our own darling boys were afraid of being beaten. They sent for Bald Teddy to Ballinasloe. He hurled the ball right and left in their faces, showing the Tipperary boys' training and skill. When they crossed on his line, sure he swore he would brain them, and the papers were filled with the praise of Ted Quill. For rambling, for roving, for football or sporting, for drinking black porter as fast as you'll fill. In all your days roving, you'll find none so jovial as our Musgrave sportsman, the Bald Teddy Quill. Thank you.
Good man, Ted. That was very, very good indeed. And now we're going to have John Burke next, please. And we might get as far as Noel Collin and Noel Carroll next in. And we'll get on to Ted Meany. He'll get away for a long time. Come on, John. Now we have John Burke next.
There are stories being told that you could not believe. They are simply made up, or just to deceive. Now I'll tell you a story that's perfectly true, about a second-hand trousers I bought in Belcoo. Tooraloo, about a second-hand trousers I bought in Belcoo. Now that lot it was fine and made up with great taste. 'Twas long in the legs and tight in the waist. There was a slit in the middle to let the queer fella through. In that second-hand trousers I bought in Belcoo. Tooraloo, in that second-hand trousers I bought in Belcoo. Now the smell from this trousers was so hard to take. Sure, when it was washed, it lost half its weight. It hadn't seen water since the day it was bought new. That dirty old trousers I bought in Belcoo. Tooralay, tooraloo. That dirty old trousers I bought in Belcoo. Now the man who wore it before, sure he wore it behind. There was a hole in the horse just to let out the wind. I got diarrhea, it drove me cuckoo. That dirty old trousers I bought in Belcoo. Tooralay, tooraloo. That dirty old trousers I bought in Belcoo. Now my wife doesn't like them, of that there's no doubt. And I know that she blames them for being up the spout. Says she, you're like something that's out of the zoo. In that second-hand trousers you bought in Belcoo. Tooralay, tooraloo. And dirty old trousers you bought in Belcoo. Now I went for a walk, and the moon it was full. And on me way home I met Dolan's Red Bull. A clip on his horn and he split him in two. So goodbye to the trousers I bought in Belcoo.
Come in, John. No bother to you at all. I know maybe if we could get Noel Carroll up here next.
On the first day of January 1892, they opened Ellis Island and left the people through. And the first to cross the threshold of that Isle of Hope and Tears was Annie Moore from Ireland. She was only 15 years. Isle of Hope, Isle of Tears, Isle of Freedom, Isle of Fears, but it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of Hunger, Isle of Pain, Isle you'll never see again, but the Isle of Home is always on your mind. In a little bag she carried all her past and history, and her dreams for the future in that land of liberty. For courage is the password when your whole world disappears, and there's no future in the past if you're only 15 years. Isle of Hope, Isle of Tears, Isle of Freedom, Isle of Fears, but it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of Hunger, Isle of Pain, Isle you'll never see again, but the Isle of Home is always on your mind. They closed down Ellis Island in 1943. 17 million people had gone there for sanctuary. And in springtime when I came here and I stepped on our piers, I thought of how it must have been if you were only 15 years. Isle of Hope, Isle of Tears, Isle of Freedom, Isle of Fears, but it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of Hunger, Isle of Pain, Isle you'll never see again, but the Isle of Home is always on your mind. Isle of Hope, Isle of Tears, Isle of Freedom, Isle of Fears, but it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of Hunger, Isle of Pain, Isle you'll never see again, but the Isle of home is always on your mind. And the Isle of home is always on your mind.
Come on, Noel. No bother in the world here. Very well done indeed. Now if we're going to take Beanie next, know that you've got away all night, but I think the weight is coming on him now. And we'll have Ty Buckley after that, please. Ty Buckley. So now, Ted, take it away. Now we have Ted Beanie to give us a song now.
My school days were full of confusion, and I wasn't too bright to tell you the truth. Me parents, they came to the conclusion that I just wasn't fit for main youth. I was too tall to be a dwarf in the circus, and I hadn't the height to be a guard. I was just an ignorant in-between garçon, not designed for financial reward. Still, me father, he thought I was a charmer, and as there was nothing else I could do, he sent me to work for a farmer in a backward old place called Carhool. Now this farmer, he had no sister or brother, and he must have been 60 or more, and he lived with his old widowed mother, an invalid, aged 94. Now the first week, it wasn't too easy, for I just couldn't do anything right. And the grub, it was never too greasy, just stir about morning and night. For dinner, there were great variations. Not a word about mutton or malt. One day, we'd have salt and potatoes, and the next day, potatoes and salt. Now the next week was a little bit better. For 3 chickens, they died in the coop. Well, we ate the meat out of the feathers, and we lived for a week on the soup. The next week was all vegetarian. Turnips, cabbage, and grass. Now that's not a calorie ration. And then misfortune befell the old ass. Well, the morning I went to fetch Walter, for that was the old donkey's name, the minute I put on his halter, I could see he was terribly lame. So I ran back and I told the old farmer, and he examined him, crooked and straight, and he whispered to me with a trimmer, "Sure, there's no point in wasting good mate." So he sent me back home for the hammer, the big butcher's knife and the saw. Poor old Walter, he gave his last tremble when he plunged the big knife in his jaw. Then he wiped the knife in his breeches, saying, "That's the last journey for Walt." And he cut the ass down into flitches, and he sent me to town for the salt. Now the meat of an ass is like rubber, not fit for a gentle stomach like mine. But the old farmer, he had teeth like a grubber, and he used to eat it clean out of the brine. I offered a bit to the granny. I thought it might help her improve. Well, that night, she was roaring for Andrews, trying to keep the old ass on the move. The farmer, he slept in the kitchen, on a big double bed with 2 doors. For his pillow, straddle and breechin, and he'd waken the dead with his snores. The old mother was a slave to sciatica, and she couldn't lie easy in bed, and each night would then go to the attic. she'd be sitting there, just nodding her head. Well, one morning I woke with a tremor, and I rushed down the stairs in surprise to see the old woman laid out on the table, and the old farmer just closing her eyes. Well, I flew from the house like a demon. The old farmer was screeching to halt. As I ran through the gate, he was shouting, "Come back here and get me the salt."
Good man, Ted. Very well done by you, in fairness. So now if we could have Tyke Buckley next for a song, please.
Fancy brings a thought to mind of a flower that's bright and fair. Its grace and beauty both combine, a brighter jewel more rare. Just like a maiden that I know, who shares my happy lot. Where we parted, when she whispered, "You'll forget me not." She's graceful and she's charming, like the lily in the pond. Time is flying swiftly by, of her I am so fond. The daisies and primroses are blooming round the spot where we parted, when she whispered, "You'll forget me not." We met, I really don't know where, but still it's just the same. For love grows in the city streets as well as in the rain. I gently clasped her tiny hand, one glance at me she shot. She dropped her flower, I picked it up. 'Twas a sweet forget-me-not. She's graceful and she's charming, like the lily in the pond. Time is flying swiftly by, of her I am so fond. The daisies and primroses are blooming round the spot where we parted, when she whispered, "You'll forget me not." And then there came the happy time when something that I said, it caused her lips to murmur yes, and shortly we were wed. There is a cot down in the lane, and a tiny garden plot. There grows a flower, I know it well, it's a sweet forget-me-not. She's graceful and she's charming, like the lily in the pond. Time is flying swiftly by, of her I am so fond. The daisies and primroses are blooming round the spot where we parted, when she whispered, "You'll forget me not." Where we parted, when she whispered, "You'll forget me not." Thanks very much.
Good man, Ty. That was lovely altogether. I know if we could get a song next from Paddy Kennedy. Come on, Paddy.
Patrick J. McCafferty, a fiddler of renown, was invited to a fiddler's night here in London town. He shaved and dressed that evening and was stepping out the door when he tripped and dropped his fiddle and he smashed it on the floor. His face turned white, his heart stood still, his head was in a spin, for he was going nowhere that night without his violin. What can I do, he said, alas, as he viewed the sad remains, unless I go to Sweeney's house and borrow Mary Jane's. Well, he threw his leg across the bike and he headed up Cricklewood Lane. But as he went, he was less content about asking Mary Jane. If I thought she wouldn't help me out, I'd just as soon not go. But when she hears what happened to me, I'm sure she'll not say no. And yet me father always said that the Sweeneys weren't too free, and I'm damned if I'll give that bitch the chance of saying no to me. I don't know who they think they are, but I could let them know they hadn't the means to scratch themselves not very long ago. They say that mud flies very high when you hit it with a stick, and upstarts like the Sweeneys are enough to make me sick. But they'll not make a fool of me, and if Mary Jane is in, I'll tell her very straight where she can shove her violin. Now Mary Jane came to the door with a smile upon her face, 'cause Patrick J was always welcome round at Sweeney's place. Good evening, Patrick J, says she, are you coming in a while? You can go to hell, says Patrick J. Miss Sweeney dropped a smile. I'll not be in your door again, he roared and turned to go, for I knew damn well before I asked that the answer would be no. Take that piece of woodwork you've hanging on your wall, and where the monkey stuck his nuts, you can stick it bow and all. And where the monkey stuck his nuts, you can stick it bow and all.
Oh well, Paddy, there's no bother to you. That was very, very good. I know if we could have Anthony, Ryan and Nigel for a couple of tunes next. well done, Anthony and Nigel. And now if I could get Danny Darcy for a song next, then we'll have Patrick Lucy after that. Danny Darcy to give us.
The lights of London are far behind. The thoughts of homeland keeps crowding my mind. Familiar places come into view. I see my home now, and soon I'll see you. We'll talk to the old folk, for they're getting on, and take them to late nights and sing the old songs. We'll talk to the neighbors and life in the town. There's so much to tell them. The days fly around. This is my homeland, the place I was born in. No matter where I roam, it's in my soul. My feet may wander 1,000 places, but my heart will lead me back home to my Donegal. And then tomorrow we'll take a walk down to St. Mary's, to a sheltered spot. We'll kneel and pray there for those who have gone, and hope they'll welcome their wandering son. This is my homeland, the place I was born in. No matter where I roam, it's in my soul. My feet may wander 1,000 places, but my heart will lead me back home to my Donegal. But my heart will lead me back home to my Donegal.
Well done, Danny. That was very, very good indeed. I know we got a few tunes now next from Patrick Lucy. And after that, then we may get a bit of a story from Sean Clifford. And I don't know where Matt Lawley went. He seemed to disappear, but we'll get around him. man, Patrick. Could we have Sean Clifford there next, please? And after that, we might get to Matt Lawley. I see him away down there in the corner.
I'll do a little recitation called The Schoolhouse. I was passing the schoolhouse one morning. Should the bus, it was stopped at the gate. With the cars and the bus, so the roadway was jammed, so I just had to sit there and wait. And somehow I pitied all of those kids as they came out of the cars and the bus, even though they might likely be carried to school, so they wouldn't have memories like us. They wouldn't have memories of going back after Christmas when there was snow and ice on the ground, when we threw snowballs at each other on our way down to school and slided in every icy patch that we found. And somehow we never minded the cold, we never had a cough or a sneeze. But now the school must be closed straight away if the heat will drop under 20 degrees. I remember pelting snowballs in the village one evening when old Rogers came out of the shop, and he shouted at us at the top of his voice, and he said, "This racket will all have to stop. I'm going for the guards this minute to see if he don't get the hell out of here." And Flash Murphy hardened the snowball with the heel of his boot, and he hit him straight into the ear. Then we all started to cruise him as we never cruised it before, and I think he got the message, for he never interfered anymore. Then I have the memories of finding Bird's Nest, how we searched all the bushes and trees, and many the thorn we got in our hands and cuts and scrapes in our knees. And I remember myself and Smiley Cavanagh with the goldfinch's nest, concealed in a hard thorn tree, and we wouldn't tell the rat really what it was, but he said, "I bet you I'll find it to see." So he missed for 2 days till he found it, and then you know what he done? He waited for us and threw the nest in the ground, and then he started to run. But we soon overtook him, and we took off his trousers and we placed him face down in the grass, and Smiley got a 50 nickels off at the back of the ditch, and he slapped him down in the bed. Well, he cursed and he swore like a trooper, and I never heard such a yell when Smiley said to me, "Turn him over, for I must do the front part as well." Well, somehow the teacher had what had happened the next week when he failed in his test. He said, "Isn't it a pity that you weren't as good at your lessons as you are at robbing a goldfinch's nest?" Then I remember the summertime, how I remember the golden rule. Our shoes were all polished and put under the stairs, and we went in the bare ones to school. And how we loved to splash in the potholes after a shower on a warm summer's day. And how we threw mud at each other with our bare feet in the school ground where we used to play. And how I remember the stone bruise you'd get if you stood in a sharp granite stone, and sometimes if you stood in a bottle, sure your leg could be cut to the bone. But we were never sent to the doctor. There was no injections or pills. Your mother was the nurse and the doctor, and she had the cure for all ills. And the linseed mail porter was your man for the stone bruise, and a good dose of salts every day. And who limped in one leg from the house to the haggard, by God, you were in trouble if you to stop in the way. And then poor old Miss O'Reilly, God rest her, I hope she's in heaven today. But I can tell you that we'll never get there, if that old one gets her way. She always said we were badly rare curs, a bold and impudent crew. And of all the tinkers that passed by her gate, she said we were the worst that she ever knew. She always kept a few good laying hens running with her Rhode Island cock. She said he was a purebred and registered bud, and that he came from pedigree stock. She said to see that bucko strolling around in the yard, you'd think he was as lazy as sin. But I can tell you that he's the speed of a greyhound when it comes to overtaking a hen. Well, the cock was in the garden one evening with his head in the air and he crowing, and Smiley took him through the bars of the gate and he busted his head with a stone. Next morning when we were coming to school, so she was mixing food in a tub. She ran to the gate with fire in her eyes like a tiger after losing his cool. The names that she called us that morning I never heard since or before, but I can tell you trying to cost a lana or a store. Now there was a fresh cow's dropping where Smiley was standing, and even though it was a bit thin, he got a sizable lump in the front of his foot, and he landed it straight in her chin. Well, he never waited to hear what she called him. He took off like a scalded cat, and I'm sure he was afraid that someday she'd kill him, but he never went to school after that. Now, these are a few memories that ran through my mind as I sat outside the school gate. I still have more I remember, but I haven't got time to relate. But somehow I think all of those kids looked happy enough as they came out of the cars and the bus, but I still think they'd be better off walking to school, so they too could have memories like us. Thank you very much.
Good man, Sean. That was very, very good indeed. I know if we could